Hey guys, what's up everyone? This is Gaurav. Welcome back to another video. Now, the students or whosoever is planning to come to United States might have many questions that there are so many types of abbreviations, so many types of short forms. So what are they known for? Like suppose you have like F1 visa, B1, B2 visa, and all kinds of other names like ICE, ICE, USCIS. Like there might be many more questions arising in your mind, and you might have to Google it, like what does it specifically mean for. So in this video I decided to make a list of all the important terminology or abbreviations and definitions which international students must know, because at some point of their journey of studying abroad they might come up with where they might need to look up these terms and you might not know because it's specifically used for international students or the students who are planning to come to America and study. So in this video I have combined like around 40 of the names, the abbreviations and definitions which might be useful to you in some point of time, and also I'll be explaining you what are the definitions and what they stand for. So इस वीडियो में हम वही बात करने वाले हैं कि ये जो abbreviations जो होते हैं कि F1 वीज़ा हो गया या SEVIS हो गया, USCIS, तो उसका फुल फॉर्म क्या होगा वो मैं इस वीडियो में आपको बताऊंगा। 40 जैसे कोई abbreviations and definitions है जो मैं बताने वाला हूँ, तो आपको देखना है और आपको जानना है, क्योंकि एक पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम में आपको वो यूज़ करना ही रहेगा और आपको गूगल करना पड़ेगा कि वो क्या है। बट इस वीडियो में मैंने उन सबको कंबाइन करने की कोशिश की है सो दैट यू guys know what exactly they stand for. So if you want to know what are those terms, please keep on watching. Okay, so I will be going in alphabetical order. So from A to Z, I'll be explaining. So now the first one is ADIS. It stands for Arrival Departure Information System. Now, US government uses this ADIS in their database system to identify the aliens or the immigrants or students who are out of status. So जो out of status है वो ये ADIS system से US इमिग्रेशन से जो ऑफिसर्स रहते हैं या कोई भी जो उनको ट्रैक करता है यूएस गवर्नमेंट, वो उनको पता कर सकती है। द नेक्स्ट इज B1 and B2 वीज़ा. B1 and B2 visa are usually given to people who are coming to United States for their business or travel purpose, and specifically this is not used for any student visa or any kind of study purposes. So this is only restricted to business and travel, and usually given to for 10 years for tourist purpose, and business visa depends on your like what kind of business it is, and it depends on your type of business it is. So B1 B2 जो है वो travel और business के लिए ही है, student के लिए अलग visa है, वो कोई भी study specific कोई भी related कोई visa नहीं है. So B1 B2 वो specifically tourism या business के लिए use होगा. The next one is CBP, US Customs and Border Protection. CBP is responsible for immigration inspections. So whenever you go out from the country and come back to United States, CBP will be there to patrol and to make sure that no immigrant or no student is staying illegally in the United States. It's like a better border patrol. So whenever you cross any border from United States, you go to somewhere else, then CBP comes into play and they have to notify the government if any immigrant or a student is out of status and they are not legally present in the United States. So जो भी border patrol रहता है उनको CBP बोलते हैं, जो कि पेट्रोलिंग करते हैं अगर कोई illegal immigrant या student हो उसका. Next term is CPT, Curricular Practical Training. Now CPT means आपको internship बोल सकते हो या co-op बोल सकते हो. Co-op और internship में क्या फ़र्क है? What is the difference between co-op and internship? Now co-op is usually done like every other semester, and it is splitted throughout your like 2 or 3 years. An internship is usually for international students, internship is limited to 6 months or maybe an year, and it's usually done in during the summertime or spring and fall if you're lucky to get that. So in CPT you have to, although you have to complete 12 months of your studies of your program, and then your school will be approving your CPT program. It has nothing to do with USCIS, but you need DSO and school's permission to do the CPT. So CPT करने के लिए आपको स्कूल की परमिशन चाहिए होती है, और वो जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन आप फॉलो करो, 12 महीने बाद आपका जो कोर्स वर्क चालू हुआ उसके बाद आप CPT कर सकते हो. Next is DHS, which stands for Department of Homeland Security. Now DHS was created after 9/11 attacks to secure the American borders, and also the Department of Homeland Security specifically works in deporting illegal immigrants and with the ICE, and they have authority to deport anyone who is not legally present in the United States. And it was created just for the protection of the borders of the United States. Next is DS, which is duration of status. Now when you enter United States, when it's written on your I94 and I20, there will be a stamp, and which is known as duration of status. Means it defines that how long you have stayed in the United States legally and for what time. So that is known as D/S, which is also known as duration of status. The next is DSO, designated school official. Now DSO is the main person you should be connected to. DSOs are allotted by US government to give you the I20 forms and to sign your form and paperwork when you are leaving United States while being admitted into the university. And also there can be around 10 DSOs in one university, and they are very specific person. There's any paperwork related to your international student or your status in the United States is signed by DSO, and they are the most important person you need to be connected to when you want to travel or when you need any sort of clarification. So DSO जो है वो बहुत ही एक important person है जिनसे आपको लगातार कांटेक्ट में रहना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि वही आपका पेपर वर्क, इमिग्रेशन फॉर्म्स वो सब पे साइन करके देते हैं अगर आपको ट्रैवल करना है तो वो बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट पर्सन है जिनसे आपको हमेशा कांटेक्ट बनाए रखना पड़ता है, जो आपको रिप्रेजेंट करता है यूएस गवर्नमेंट के लिए. Next is E1E2. Now what is E1E2? E1E2 visa is usually the person who invests into the United States and he comes here. Now when you are coming to United States on basis of E1E2 visa, then you do not need to take any F, M or J visa separately to study in the United States. You can come in as a trader or as an investor, and you can proceed and come to the United States, but you need to give them a huge amount of money and be an investor in order to come to the United States. And once you enter, you do not need any other separate visa for studying here in the United States. So आप जब इन्वेस्ट करते हो किसी भी अमाउंट का, जो भी एक रिक्वायर है ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा डॉलर अमाउंट, तो आप वो इन्वेस्ट करके यहाँ आ सकते हो E1E2 वीज़ा में. और अगर आप वो वीज़ा लेते हो तो आपको कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है F, M या J वीज़ा लेके स्टडी करने की. आप E1E2 वीज़ा के बेसिस पे स्टडी कर सकते हो. नेक्स्ट इज़ EAD, एम्प्लॉयमेंट authorization document. Now EAD is very important. Now EAD is a type of a credit card, kind of a shape of credit card, but it's a employment authorization document which is literally needed if you are employed in the United States. अगर आपको काम करना है यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में तो आपको वो EAD लेना पड़ेगा. OPT पे जो मिलता है, इंटर्नशिप के लिए नहीं लगेगा, बट फुल टाइम जॉब के लिए आपको EAD कार्ड लगेगा. और वो EAD कार्ड आपका प्रोड्यूस करता है गवर्नमेंट. उस पर डेट्स लिखी रहती है क्या ये डेट से आखिरी डेट तक, विद इन दिस ड्यूरेशन ऑफ डेट्स यू आर अलाउड टू वर्क हियर इन द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स. एंड इट इज़ ऑल्सो लिंक्ड विथ योर SSN, विच इज सोशल सिक्योरिटी नंबर. बट EAD इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन ऑर्डर to work in the United States. Why? Because without EAD, without you get your EAD, you cannot start your employment even if you have your job offer letter with you. So जो EAD पे कार्ड पे जो डेट लिखा होता है वो डेट से आप काम करना चालू कर सकते हो. If it's not, then you cannot start your job. Is F1 visa. Now F1 is a student visa, which is given to a person who wants to come and study here full time, and it's usually given for 5 years. F1 वीज़ा जो होता है वो स्टूडेंट वीज़ा रहता है और वो 5 साल का दिया जाता है. तो उसमें से आपको ड्यूरेशन होती है 2 या 4 साल का. आपका जो पढ़ाई होगा वो मास्टर्स या अंडर ग्रेजुएट होगा, और जो 1 साल रहेगा वो ओपीटी का जो भी रहेगा वो दिया जाएगा. बट 5 साल में आपको पीएचडी या कुछ भी हो वो ख़त्म करना पड़ेगा आपका स्टडी. सो यूजुअली यू हैव टू फिनिश विद इन दोज 5 years योर कोर्स ऑफ ड्यूरेशन. सो दैट इज़ F1 visa. Next is F2 visa. Now F2 visa is given to the spouse of F1 visa. So suppose you are married and you come to United States on F1 visa, then you can bring your spouse as an F2 visa. You can apply for it and they can be here while you are studying at the university. So आपका जो शादी हो गया होगा तो वो शादी से आप अगर कनेक्टेड है तो आपको F2 वीज़ा पे यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में आने देंगे. Next is GA, which is known as graduate assistant or graduate assistantship. Now graduate assistantships are provided by the university to work under professors. When you are provided with graduate assistantship, you are a case where you can get scholarships or you can get funding from the university in order to perform your work. Now work can be anything like assisting professors or doing some work under the professor, doing some research, or teaching undergraduate students, if you are in master's level. So there are many positions available, like 20 to 30 positions are available for different kinds of roles at all the universities. Now जब आपको ग्रेजुएट असिस्टेंटशिप मिलती है तो आपको स्कॉलरशिप दी जाती है, फंडिंग दी जाती है, विच इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इन इफ़ यू गेट दैट, then you can write it in your resume, and also you are given a funding so you can take out your expenses or tuition fees out of it. Is GPA. GPA stands for grade point average. Now usually in different countries, like when I was in India it was CGPA, but in American education system they use GPA, grade point average. Now it is usually given from 1 to 4, and the grades might be given you from letter D to A, so A being an excellent, an A plus, or whatever they are using. But if you get an A plus, then it's usually 4 GPA. If you get A, then it is usually 3.7. Then as you go down, it will be listed according to the university's curriculum. But GPA defines you that how much strong you are in academics. The next is H1B. H1B visa is given to skillful worker. Now whenever a student completes his studies and then he gets into a working zone on an OPT, then after that the completion of OPT of a non-STEM student is usually for 1 year, and STEM student that gets over in 3 years. So after you are done with your OPT, you will need H1B visa in order to stay and work in the United States. It can usually go up to 4 months of period of time, like you have to apply, and it takes around 4 months to get you into the lottery system. And if you're lucky enough, you will get that H1B visa in the lottery system. And if you want more faster, then you might enroll yourself with more money in premium processing. The H1B visas are usually given for 6 years to 3 years period. Like you have to give an interview again after 3 years in order to extend your H1B visa. And out of like 200,000 people apply for it, but every year 65,000 H1B visas are allotted in a lottery system, out of which 20,000 are specifically reserved for masters and PhD students. So जैसे मैं बता रहा था, H1B visa जो होता है वो स्किलफुल वर्कर के लिए होता है. वो आपको यूजुअली मास्टर्स और पीएचडी के बेसिस पे मिल सकता है, एंड आपकी कंपनी को अप्लाई करना रहेगा, और वो यूजुअली 4 महीने का प्रोसेस रहता है. बट आप अगर प्रीमियम प्रोसेसिंग में आप पार्टिसिपेट करते हो तो आपका जल्दी हो सकता है. और जो स्पाउस होते हैं उनके they will get H4 visa. The spouses of H1 visa will get H4 visa, and they are not allowed to work in the United States on H4 visa, but they can get H4 visa to stay in the United States as long as H1B visa is valid. तो जो H1B visa है वो लॉटरी सिस्टम में पिक किया जाता है, और वो 65,000 हर साल पिक करते हैं, एंड आउट ऑफ 200,000 पर्सन जो अप्लाई करते हैं, जो भी प्रोफेशनल वर्किंग है उसमें सब मिलाकर 65,000 को सिलेक्ट किया जाता है. Next is I20. Now I20 stands for, like, it's a kind of a certificate of eligibility of non-immigrant F1 student status. Now I20 जो होता है वो आपको यूनिवर्सिटी देती है. यूनिवर्सिटी provides you the I20, which has all the information of which university you are admitted to, what are the fees, and it has to be signed by the DSO that you have been admitted, and that I20 is needed in order for you to get entry into the United States along with your US visa. So I20 is a document which is given to every student, which has all the information about the university and their pricing. I20 में सब फीस से लेके आपका यूनिवर्सिटी, आपकी इंफॉर्मेशन, सब जानकारी रहेगी जो यूजुअली आपको ट्रैवल और यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के अंदर आने के लिए ज़रूर रहता है यूएस वीज़ा के साथ. द नेक्स्ट वन इज़ I515A. Now, whenever you enter into the United States, it's very important that you have all the proper documentation. But what if you forgot something and you do not have that information? Then the immigration official who is taking your interview at the port of entry, they have rights to give you this 515A form, which will allow you to enter the United States within 30 days. Like, you can come into the United States and stay legally for 30 days unless and until you get all your documentation in place. This I94. Now I94 is an arrival and departure record. Now whenever you come into the United States, your I94 will be generated. You can get I94 by inputting your information like passport number and your citizenship of the country. Now when you input that, you will be getting all the information regarding your arrival and departure from the United States. So आप जब United States आते हो तो आपका जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है, आपका पासपोर्ट नंबर और आपकी सिटीजनशिप से आप इन्फॉर्मेशन निकाल सकते हो I94 की वेबसाइट पर जाके, गवर्नमेंट की वेबसाइट पे जाके I94 फॉर्म लेके, और ये सब डेटा डालिए तो आपको आपकी इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगी, कब आए थे, कब बाहर गए थे. Now next one is I765. Now I765 is the form which you fill out for getting your EAD, which is Employment Authorization Document. जो मैंने आप पहले बताया, वो EAD लेने के लिए आपको I765 फॉर्म भरना पड़ता है. The next is I797, which is Notice for the Immigration Confirmation Receipt. So जब आप कोई भी चेंज ऑफ स्टेटस या फिर एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए जब आप अप्लाई करते हो तो आपको जो रिसीट मिलता है उसको I797 बोलेंगे. Is ICE. ICE stands for Bureau of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Now ICE is responsible for immigration investigation. They can deport you, and every information which they get, it's like all the immigration, and they have all the authorities which the government gives them. And the next is ISA. ISA stands for International Student Advisor. Now every university might have an advisor, and depending on what counseling you need, there will be advisor which will be advising you related to your course of studies or as an international student in general. So that is very important to keep in mind, that you can go to your university and get an advice from an ISA. Now next is J1 visa. Now J1 visa is usually used for the exchange visitor visa, like you come here to the United States for amount of like 3 to 6 months and you gain some experience and then you go back to your country. So J1 is a exchange visitor program which is usually done for, like, many students do that and they gain some kind of experience about the internship or studies and they then go back. It's LPR. LPR stands for Legal Permanent Resident. Now LPR is usually known as green card holder and they are usually treated same as the US citizens, and it is not kind of a visa or anything, but it's like a legal status that you have a green card and you can stay into the United States. That can be obtained in many various forms. Now the next one is M1 visa. Now M1 visa is allotted to students or is allotted to a person who is coming for non-academic purpose. That's not a study visa, then you are given an M1 visa. And next one is OPT. OPT stands for Optional Practical Training. Now OPT is very popular when you graduate from a university and you are in STEM major, then you get 1 year of OPT plus 2 years of extended OPT. So you get 3 years to work in the United States after you graduate your university. It doesn't matter bachelor's or master's, but you get 3 years. And if you're a non-STEM, like suppose you did your MBA, then you will be getting only 1 year of OPT. You will not be allowed to get any extension if your major is in non-STEM background. Next is POE. POE stands for Port of Entries. So whenever you want to come to the United States, you will have to immigrate into this country. That means that when you come here, they will be checking all your documentation, and they will be having an interview with you, checking all your documentation. They will ask you why you are here, which university you are going, so that they know that you are genuinely here and you are not showing any fake proofs to enter into this country. So ports of entry, your immigration happens, and after the immigration is clear, you are allowed to enter the United States. And if nothing goes well and there are some documents missing, they might hold you off and you might not be able to come into the United States. Next is SEVP. Now SEVP stands for Student and Exchange Visitor Program. Now this is a program which is given to all the students who wants to come to the United States. Another one is SEVIS, which is SEVIS. SEVIS stands for Student and Exchange Visitor Information System. Now SEVIS always has a number attached to it, and that specific number belongs to you. So whenever you are given a SEVIS number, it is very important to check all the status of you. So that SEVIS number is just given to you once when you enroll for US visa, and when you enroll at a university, that SEVIS number belongs to you, and it remains throughout with you whenever you come to the United States. The next is STEM. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Now whosoever performs an engineering degree or who comes for an engineering degree, they will be considered STEM background. And why it is important? Because when you graduate from a university, your OPT, which is optional practical training, will depend on whether you will get 1 year or will you get 3 years. If you are a STEM background major, if you have done any of your degrees related to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, then you will be given 3 years OPT. You are given more advantage, and you will be prioritized as compared to non-STEM student. Now the next one is SSN. SSN stands for Social Security number. Now SSN is given to you whenever you have your first job. Suppose you came to United States and you got your job, on campus job, or a TA or a RA position in, suppose you got it in 1 month, then you when you start, you will have to have an SSN number. It's like a Aadhaar card in India. It's linked to your every financial transactions, and you have to have an SSN in order to get paid and in order to work in the United States. USCIS. USCIS stands for US Citizenship and Immigration Services. Now USCIS is the main person who gives out your visa, who has all the information, and who will give out to all your application forms, and it is under the Department of Homeland Security, and USCIS is the main authority who gives you all your immigration paperwork, all your visas, and everything related to your status in the United States. The last but not the least is visa. As you know, you require a visa to come to United States from any of the country. If you are not a permanent resident or a citizen of any of the country, you need visa to travel. So that's it guys for this video. I hope you got some of the knowledge from this video regarding what are these abbreviations, and you might need to use them somewhere in your journey of as a student or wherever you are immigrating from. So these are the terminology which are very important. So I hope you liked it, and you feel free to share and give this video to whosoever who might be in need. And also if you want to come and join me on Instagram, I post many kinds of informative stuff which you might be interested in. So I will be coming with another topic, another session, which I'll be telling some other information about international students or anything related to immigration. So I will see you in the next one. Thank you.